Over the years, games have come a long way in fostering a sense of community. Even in single-player adventures, you often find memorable companions who make the journey feel like a team effort, even if you're doing all the heavy lifting. But what about the games where there isn't anyone else? Games that make you feel like the only living thing in the world. I want to talk about the kind of games that lean into loneliness, and why that might not be such a bad thing. Loneliness is a powerful emotion. It can make you feel sad, depressed, or unmotivated. But for introverts, it can also bring a sense of peace, contentment, and even inspiration. Introverts unite! But, from a distance and on our own schedules. There's something comforting about a quiet space where no one is asking anything of you. And in games, that kind of solitude can actually enhance the experience. It gives you time to reflect, to explore at your own pace, and to get fully immersed in the world. So what happens when that feeling of solitude finds its way into art? Art, of course, is subjective. What speaks to one person might not move another. But for me, Van Gogh's Starry Night is the perfect depiction of loneliness. It feels like standing on the edge of a rooftop, gazing at a breathtaking night sky that feels like it's all your own. You're not entirely cut off from the world. There are lights glowing in the houses below, reminding you that life still exists around you. Maybe there's an old man puffing a cigar on his porch, or a sleepy cat curled up on a windowsill, quietly sharing the night from their own perspective. It's that kind of quiet isolation where you feel small, but somehow part of something greater. That's the magic of loneliness in art. Whoa, got a little deep there. Anyways, now that we've established the power of loneliness, let's dive into how it can be used effectively in games. First up, ambiance. Some of the loneliest, most atmospheric games I've played are Super Metroid and Hollow Knight. Actually, now that I think of it, the entire Metroidvania genre thrives on this sense of isolation. These games use loneliness to inspire exploration and spark subtle fear. You find yourself constantly wondering, will I survive this? Is there a save room nearby? There's just this idea that you could completely disappear in this place without anyone noticing. It's eerie and compelling. The art direction in these games often amplify this feeling. You explore ruins that feel like they were once full of life before some unnamed catastrophe swept through. It's up to you and you alone to piece together what happened as you venture deeper into places no sane person would dare to go. Let's take this bench in Hollow Knight, for example. Normally when playing, we dash through areas like this without a second thought. But if we slow down and really be here, you will notice it's a lot more than just another save room. First off, it's obviously some sort of bus stop, but it's been overgrown, neglected by Father Time. Was this once a bustling station with creatures of all kinds going about their daily lives? Maybe all these signs depict different destinations that so many families called home. And what gets me most is this firefly lantern. How long has he been here? Is he magic, or is this just his sole purpose and he uses all his energy to keep this place lit? Just in case someone comes by. He needs to be there, ready, like a lighthouse slowly burning the last of its fuel to keep the shores lit just in case a ship comes to pass. And this is only one of many examples of lonely places that have a beautiful story to tell. If you have any particularly wonderful places like this you've come across, please share them in the comments below. I'm always looking for places to reflect. Okay, that was a bit of a big brain tangent. Moving on. Tone is another aspect that is elevated through isolation. Take Journey for instance. You traverse vast, windswept deserts, uncovering fragments of a forgotten world. The rolling dunes, stunning soundtrack, and a quiet sense of wonder that makes this game unforgettable. And all of it hinges on that lonely, contemplative atmosphere. If it weren't for that solitude, the game would lose so much of its impact. Another perfect example is Shadow of the Colossus. There's almost no dialogue, no towns, just you, your horse, and 16 towering beings you're somehow supposed to defeat. The world feels heavy and hollow, like the ruins themselves are watching you. It's hauntingly beautiful. Now let's talk about horror, a genre that practically runs on loneliness. Games like Outlast isolate you to such an extreme that the fear feels suffocating. You can't see anything without your camera, and of course the battery is always dying. You're forced to stumble through the pitch black corridors, hoping nothing's lurking in the shadows. The darkness doesn't just obscure your vision, it deepens the feeling of hopelessness. And honestly, it's terrifying. I can only play these kinds of games in short bursts, but I keep coming back because the emotional payoff is wild. I might be sweating and exhausted by the end, but I'm always in awe of how deeply the game can make me feel. If you added something like a companion or even just a little more light, that fragile illusion would shatter. And I know what you're thinking. Technically, some of these games do have life around you in the form of enemies, but they always seem off. Like whatever spark they once had is long gone. They're not comforting, they're not companions, they're just remnants, shells, as if the corrupted world they inhabit has eaten away at their minds, their souls, until all that's left is instinct and hostility. Yet another beautiful thing about loneliness is that it can be found in places you least expected. You're trekking between missions and suddenly you stumble into a little pocket of silence. No quest, no music, just a break in the chaos. In that moment, it's worth appreciating. Let it sit. Let it breathe. It's like walking into a painting you didn't know was there. Of course, not everyone can get into lonely games. Some players find them slow, bleak, or even a little empty. And that's totally valid. But for those of us who lean into these quiet moments, there's something kind of sacred about them. Maybe loneliness in games reminds us that being alone doesn't always mean being lost. Sometimes it just means you've got the space to really be there. So I'm curious, what games do you think master the feeling of loneliness, or at least use it in a meaningful way? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoy this content, consider leaving a like and subscribe to GooseQuest. See you next time.